What up, y'all? This is your boy, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo, and you're listening to the Entertainment Report on iHeartRadio for Thursday, July 9th, 2015, delivering some of the major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo, that's RAYMELO, or on Twitter at The Enter Report. You can listen to the show anytime you want on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeart.com or the iHeart app anytime you want for free. Search for the Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Real estate mogul and presidential candidate Donald Trump did not appreciate Anderson Cooper's line of questioning surrounding the construction crew he hired to build his Trump Tower in Manhattan. The presidential hopeful appeared as a guest on Wednesday's Anderson Cooper 360 on CNN, where the host asked about a court case that Trump settled in 1999 surrounding 200 illegal Polish immigrants alleged they were paid less than a minimum wage back for their work in 1975. Trump replied about the Trump Tower construction crew, "I hired a contractor. Anderson, I hired a contractor. The contractor then hires the subcontractor. They have people. I don't know. I don't remember. That was so many years ago, 35 years ago. They said we had some illegal immigrants." Trump did not appreciate it when Cooper continued to question him about why he wouldn't have known if the workers were illegal immigrants. He said, "Anderson, when you have to go back 35 years to tell me about something, I think that's pretty pathetic, to be honest with you," Trump said. He added that a recent Washington Post story about the illegal immigrants being hired to build his latest Washington, D.C. hotel was not credible because it did not name its sources. Cooper also asked Trump about how much money his comments about Mexican immigrants in his presidential campaign speech has cost him, but Trump declined to cite an exact figure. Trump admitted, "It's a lot of money, but fortunately I am very rich. It doesn't matter to me." Cooper asked Trump for his thoughts on fellow presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, whom Trump referred to as the worst Secretary of State in the history of the United States. When asked why Clinton does not frequently talk to the press, Trump added, "She has a lot to hide." Keith Olbermann is exiting ESPN once again. The television personality who rejoined the sports network in August 2013 won't be renewing his contract deal to anchor his ESPN2 program. The news follows the Hollywood Reporter report on July 1st, noting that ESPN management floated an ultimately unworkable caveat that Olbermann cease engaging in commentary. The network said in a statement, "Keith is a tremendous talent who has consistently done timely, entertainment, and thought-provoking work since returning to ESPN. While the show's content was distinctive and extremely high quality, we ultimately made a business decision to move in another direction. We wish Keith nothing but the best and trust that his skills and ability will lead him to another promising endeavor." Network executives also floated the idea of having Olbermann take his show to the network's headquarters in Bristol or to the Los Angeles facility rather than the ABC News Times Square studios in New York that ESPN leased for Olbermann, a move that would save ESPN $40 million at a time when the sports leader is feeling a financial pinch from its Disney corporate parents. ESPN President John Skipper has been given a mandate to cut $100 million from the network's budget next year and $250 million in 2017. ESPN also has abandoned a previously announced plan to have the ESPN radio program Mike and Mike move to the same New York studio where Olbermann is produced. Norby Williamson, ESPN's executive vice president of programming and production, said in a May 11 press release announcing the move, "Mike and Mike has been an extremely successful sports talk show for its first 15 years. The physical move to New York combined with a strong working relationship with ABC will help evolve it into a very powerful and engaging morning sports entertainment talk show." And Olbermann's exit will follow that of Bill Simmons, who left the network in May after Skipper declined to offer him an extension of his $5 million annual contract. Simmons' departure came after the outspoken personality delivered multiple profane attacks on NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell and his handling of the Ray Rice domestic violence scandal, and accusations of deflating footballs leveled against New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady. Olbermann delivered his own pointed critiques of Goodell's handling of the Rice saga. Olbermann's departure ultimately comes down to creative differences, says one source. While Olbermann, by all accounts, has enjoyed his current stint at the network, cutting the commentary from his program was always going to be a non-starter. Julian Rancine's time as E! News anchor is coming to an end. Rancine, who has served as anchor since 2005, is leaving the show with her final episode set to air August 10th. She will continue to co-host the network's E! Live from the Red Carpet and Fashion Police. Rancid 40, who's currently hosting the program with Terrence Jenkins, said, "For more than a decade, I was fortunate enough to play a role in the success of E! News and will miss my family at the show. At the same time, I am excited to not only continue as host of two major franchises on E! but also executive produce the aspirational news show Rich in Faith for Oxygen, as well as take my wine and clothing lines to the next level." She continued, "This is such a thrilling time for me, and I thank the gang at E! for understanding my desire to embark on this next chapter in my life." E! General Manager Adam Stosky praised Ramsey for helping to expand the show's profile. He says, "During her time, Juliana played an instrumental role in building E! News into a global entertainment news powerhouse, and while we will miss her on set every day, we are delighted to continue to work with her on Fashion Police and Live from the Red Carpet," Stosky said. Ramsey made headlines earlier this year when her joke on Fashion Police about Zendaya's Oscar hairstyle earned criticism and was followed by the exiting of Kelly Osbourne and Kathy Griffin. Spider-Man, or Peter Parker's Aunt May, really is getting younger with each new actress named to be the role. With Oscar winner Marisa Tomei in talks to take on the role of Spider-Man's unsuspecting caretaker for the Sony Marvel reboot of the character, online response to the casting has been mixed. There's been both excitement and a sense of disbelief that she's old enough to play the iconic Marvel character, best known amongst the comic fandom for a series of ill-timed health problems and a love of wheat cakes. When the next Spider-Man movie is released in 2017, Tomei will be 52 years old, well within a believed age range to be the aunt of the then 20-year-old Tom Holland, but it does point out the strange trend that has seen May Parker get progressively younger. In Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man movie, Aunt May was played by Rosemary Harris, who was 75 at the time of the release, 48 years older than the leading man, Tobey Maguire. When Andrew Garfield took over as the wall-crawling superhero in 2012, he was 28 years old, while the second Aunt May, played by Sally Field, was 66, an age difference of 38 years. Now with Tomei and Holland, that difference is down to 32 years, with Tomei the youngest Aunt May by far. Given the casting, it's likely that Marvel and Sony aren't looking to Whiten's crone of series creators Stan Lee and Steve Ditko initial story, but instead the far younger, far more active May Parker that writer Brian Michael Bendis and author Mark Bagley offered up in the 2000 comic book reboot Ultimate Spider-Man. Given that the series eventually kills off Peter Parker only to replace him with the biracial Miles Morales, perhaps fans of that comic or that character could take heart that maybe the cinematic Spidey won't always be as white as he's been in his current 3 incarnations, unless Tomei is planning on playing far older than her years, of course. The unnamed Spider-Man reboot will be released in July 2017. Patrick Louis Chunning, the president of Chinese company Alibaba's digital entertainment unit, has been arrested by the Chinese police. An Alibaba spokesman said in a statement to the Wrap, "We understand that Patrick Louis with our digital entertainment unit has been detained by the authorities. This issue is related to his time in Tencent and has nothing to do with Alibaba." Louis, who was formerly the head of the rival Chinese media company Tencent, was arrested along with several other Tencent employees on corruption charges. Tencent said in a statement to Reuters an internal investigation brought to light bribery and corruption among some online video employers. The police has been notified and we are waiting for the results. China is the world's second largest movie market by revenue, trailing only to the U.S. E-commerce giant Alibaba has been trying to put its stamp on the entertainment industry, investing billions in the process. In March, the company purchased Chinese film and entertainment company Enlight Media for $383 million. Jack Ma's firm debuted to a record $25 billion IPO in September 2014. Shortly after, Alibaba invested $50 million in TV app maker Peel. Alibaba also has a movie ticketing website and a film crowdfunding product, Alibaba Pictures. It owns an 18.5% stake in Youku Tudou Inc., one of China's biggest video streaming companies. Ma's company holds a minority stake in film studio Huayue Brothers Media Corp. Bloomberg reporter Lulu Ying Chen first reported the news of the arrest. Police said Wednesday they were investigating video that appeared to show pop star Ariana Grande licking donuts at a shop in California. Earlier, Grande apologized for saying "I hate America" in the same video. Police in Lake Elsmore, California, where the donut shop is located, says they and Riverside County public health officials were investigating the leaked video, which appears to show the 22-year-old singer and a man with her maliciously licking the donuts. Marisa, 22, a cashier on duty at Wolfie Donuts, said Grande went into the store, said that the singer didn't purchase any of the donuts she licked. Solis told the Associated Press she was really rude. Earlier Wednesday, Grande said in a statement to the AP that she was a proud American. She said, the statement read, "I'm extremely proud to be an American. I've always made it clear that I love my country. When I said in a private moment with my friend who was buying the donuts was taken out of context, and I'm sorry for not using more discretion with my choice of words." In the video posted Tuesday by TMZ, Grande says, "What is that? I hate Americans, I hate America," when a tray of donuts appeared in front of her. Grande said she chose to express herself as she did because she leads a healthy lifestyle and is upset with, quote, "how freely we as Americans eat and consume things without giving any thought of the consequences." She also added, "The fact that the United States has one of the highest child obesity rates in the world frustrates me. We need to do more to educate ourselves and our children about the dangers of overeating and the poison that we put in our bodies. However, I should have known better in how I express myself, and with my new responsibility to others as a public figure, I will strive to be better." Asked about the police investigation, Grande's representative said she would not have further comment. Grande also announced Wednesday that she would not perform at the Major League Baseball All-Star concert on Saturday. She said it had nothing to do with the leaked video. She said, "As for why I cannot be at the Major League Baseball show, I have emergency oral surgery, and due to recovery, I cannot attend the show. That being said, let me once again apologize if I have offended anyone with my poor choice of words." Gotham's Cameron Monaghan has posted a photo of himself on Instagram looking very much like the crown prince of crime, the Joker. Monaghan's mysterious villain, Jerome, set Gotham fans into a frenzy last season, with many speculating he was the Joker when he made his debut on the Fox Batman prequel in February. Showrunner Bruno Heller told The Hollywood Reporter that Season 2 of Gotham would focus heavily on the Joker. Heller said in May, "We've got to find out how the hell Jerome, the proto-Joker we met earlier in this season, connects with the Joker as people know him. That's the big focus of the beginning of the second season. We're going to tell the story of how the Joker came to be." Netflix and City in Canada have renewed the Jeanette McCurdy star outbreaking thriller Between for a second season. McCurdy on Wednesday revealed the news on Twitter, writing, "The quarantine is not yet over. Season 2 of #Between confirmed for 2016. The Canadian survivalist drama will return with the 6 new episodes next year after Between became the first series where Netflix ditched its binge viewing model to release episodes 1 week at a time. The streaming video service gets the show, its first Canadian original, in all territories outside of Canada, while Netflix Canada will stream Between with the year delay. The first season of the Canadian drama about a mysterious disease that kills anyone over the age of 21 premiered on May 21st and also ran weekly on City, the Canadian TV network that developed the 1-hour drama. Between also streams north of the border of the Show Me service. The Canadian drama's first season focused on the power vacuum that accompanied the government quarantine around the town, Pretty Lake, leaving most high schoolers to fend for themselves. Between was created by Michael McGowan and executive produced by Don Karamodi and McGowan in association with Elevation Pictures. Between is also executive produced by David Kermikian and Navin Prasad. Elevation Pictures handling the worldwide distribution of the series. With Amy, the documentary looking at the life and untimely death of British singer Amy Winehouse having scored the biggest ever opening for a British documentary at the UK box office, Amy Winehouse has stormed back into the British music charts. Back to Black, the late singer's seminal Grammy-winning second album, was first released in 2006 and already has made more than 20 million sales to its name. Almost 4 years after her death, it landed back in the top 40 in the 22nd spot, according to the UK official charts company. Frank Her 2003 debut and the record that first pushed her into the public eye re-entered the album charts in the 50th spot. Amy has a limited simultaneous release in the U.S., opening in 6 theaters in New York and Los Angeles to $222,015 for a $37,002 location. Average U.S. distributor A24 is taking the film nationwide this weekend, while it will also expand in the U.K. from 133 cinemas to more than 200. The $210 million settlement that record giants made with Sirius XM over the use of sound recordings created before 1972 is being challenged as improper. On Wednesday, attorneys for Flo and Eddie of the 60s rock group The Turtles came forward in a California federal court to demand an injunction that would stop the satellite radio giant from paying the money to Abaco Music and Records, Capitol Records, Sony Music Entertainment, UMG Recordings, and Warner Music Group. Instead, a judge is being asked to issue an order that the money be paid into an interest-bearing account under the court's control and direction. Responding to an RIAA spokesperson, "We have great respect for the Turtles and their work they have done to help secure payment for pre-72 recordings. They rightly trumpeted the recent settlement with Sirius XM as a significant step forward. However, their application is without merit and could force the delay of long-awaited payments to artists and labels who created iconic musics for generations of fans." Flo and Eddie, represented by Henry Gradstein and other Gradstein and Marzano, filed the first breakthrough case over the issue of the public performance of a pre-72 recordings, which don't fall under federal copyright protection. A proposed class action lawsuit filed in August 2013 asked to hold Sirius XM liable for misappropriating the recordings under California state law. The following year, the judge ruled in their favor in a head-turning decision that opened discussions about who else. Pandora, terrestrial radio operators, might be at fault for using older songs. After Flo and Eddie filed their lawsuit, members of the Recording Industry Association of America followed with their own lawsuit against Sirius XM and got a similarly favorable ruling. In court papers filed yesterday, Gradstein called this latter lawsuit the coattail action and says it now becomes a vehicle of a brazen attempt to disrupt and interfere with the class action process. Specifically, Gradstein objects to being explicitly excluded from a mediation that included Sirius XM's attorneys, representatives from the major label, and the RIAA. He tells the judge that it's a direct violation of California's rules of professional conduct. He adds that the participants in the secret mediation came to a settlement that not only included the pre-72 recordings that the major labels owned, but also settled claims over recordings that the labels, quote, controlled or otherwise have the right to contract with them. Sirius XM's motivation for coming to a deal with the RIAA is pegged as, quote, fracturing the class, destroying the leverage of the absent class members to obtain a settlement on the similar terms, and preventing class counsel from receiving a fee. A New Zealand judge has sentenced AC/DC drummer Phil Rudd to 8 months of home detention after the musician pleaded guilty to threatening to kill a man who used to work for him, along with possession of methamphetamines and marijuana. The 61-year-old drummer was sentenced in the Tauranga District Court on New Zealand's North Island on Thursday. He had faced up to 7 years in prison on the threatening to kill charge. Rudd pleaded guilty to charges in April, acknowledging in a court summary of facts that he did offer large amounts of cash, vehicles, and a house to an associate after asking him to have the victim taken out. He also acknowledged that he directly said to the victim he was going to kill him. Taylor Swift's mega-selling 1989 album continues to be unstoppable. The set has now surpassed 5 million in U.S. sales, according to Nielsen Music, making it the fastest-selling to reach that plateau in more than 10 years. 1989 crossed the 5 million mark in the week ending July 5th, and another 26,000 sold. Its total now stands at $5.015 million copies sold. The album reached a milestone in only its 36th week of release, the speediest climb to 5 million since the week ending in August 1st, 2004, when Usher's Confessions hit 5 million in only its 19th weekend of sales. 1989 is Swift's third album to sell 5 million copies, following Fearless, released in 2008, and her self-titled debut, release in 2006. They've sold 6.95 million copies and 5.52 million copies, respectively, to date. This is also the most recent released album to sell 5 million since Adele's 21 powered through 5 million in its 42nd week on December 11, 2011. 21 has sold 11.1 million copies. On the latest Billboard 200 albums chart dated July 18, 1989, spent its 36th consecutive week in the top 10, rising 4 to 3. The last album to rack up its first 36 chart weeks in the top 10 was Adele's 21, which didn't vacate the region until its 79th chart week, dated September 8, 2012. Now here are the top 10 songs in the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart for the week of July 18th. Number 10, Rachel Platten with Fight Song. Number 9, David Guetta featuring Nicki Minaj and Bebe Rexha with Afrojack with Hey Mama. Number 8, Skill Rex and Diplo with Justin Bieber, Where Are You Now? Number 7, Walk the Moon with Shut Up and Dance. Number 6, The Weeknd with Can't Feel My Face. Number 5, Fetty Wap with Trap Queen. Number 4, Taylor Swift featuring Kendrick Lamar with Bad Blood. Number 3, Salento with Watch Me. Number 2, OMI with Cheerleader. And again, the number 1 song in the Billboard Hot 100 singles charts is Wiz Khalifa featuring Charlie Puth with See You Again. And now let's look back at what happened on this day in entertainment history. On this day in 2008, the final episode of The Real World Hollywood, a reality television show about 7 young adults selected to live together, airs on MTV. Real World Hollywood marked the 20th season of the pioneering reality program, which debuted in 1992 and went on to become MTV's longest-running show. MTV, which was launched on August 1st, 1981 as a channel dedicated to music videos, but by the late 1980s, the network had started airing some non-video programming. The Real World, created by Mary Ellis Bingham and Jonathan Murray, premiered in May 1992, with the first season set in New York City. Since that time, subsequent seasons have been filmed in cities around the world, including Boston, Miami, Paris, and Sydney. Each season has followed the same basic format. A cast of 7 men and women between the ages of 18 and 25 are selected from auditions to have their lives captured on camera while they live together for several months. The housemates are from diverse backgrounds and frequently clash over issues of race, sexuality, politics, love, and dirty dishes. Each show opens with the cast members reciting the words, "This is a true story of 7 strangers picked to live in a house, work together, and have their lives taped to find out what happens when people stop being polite and start getting real." Throughout the series, Real World housemates have battled a variety of personal issues, including alcoholism and eating disorders. One of the show's most notable seasons was the third, Real World San Francisco, which featured an obnoxious bike messenger named Puck, who frequently clashed with housemate Pedro Samara, an HIV-positive AIDS educator. At the time, Zamara was one of the first openly gay young people with AIDS to be featured on a mainstream television program. Zamara died in November 1994, shortly after the show's season finale aired. He was commended for his activism by then-President Bill Clinton. After appearing on The Real World, which spawned the spin-off programs Road Rules and Real World Road Rules Challenge, some cast members have used this show as a springboard to careers in acting, modeling, and public speaking. And on this day in 1962, Bob Dylan records his greatest composition, Blowin In The Wind. He said, this here ain't no protest song or anything like that, because I don't write no protest song. That was how Bob Dylan introduced one of the most eloquent protest songs ever written when he first performed it publicly. It was the spring of his full year in New York City, and he was on stage at Jared's Folk City in Greenwich Village talking about a song he claimed to have written in just 10 minutes. Blowin In The Wind. A few weeks later, on this day in 1962, Dylan walked into a studio and recorded the song that would make him a star. Dylan's recording of Blowin' In The Wind would first be released nearly a full year later on his breakthrough album, The Freewheeling Bob Dylan. This was not the version of the song that most people would first hear, however. That honor went to the cover version by Peter, Paul, and Mary, a version that not only became a smash hit on the pop charts, but also transformed Dylan into just another song into the unofficial anthem of the civil rights movement. Blowin' In The Wind bears little or no resemblance to the highly topical, highly literal protest songs of the day, but that may have been precisely what made it so effective as a protest song. A lyric like, "How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man?" lends itself perfectly to those seeking racial justice, just as "How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand?" does to those seeking peace. The moving, vaguely spiritual, clearly dissatisfied, yet ultimately ambiguous nature of Blowin' In The Wind made it the quintessential protest song of the 1960s. In the words of critic Greg Marcus, a song that the Times seemed to call forth. It also represented a significant breakthrough for Bob Dylan as a songwriter. From Blowin' In The Wind onward, Dylan's songs would reflect a far more personal and poetic approach to self-expression, an approach that would lead him away from songs like The Times They Are Changing toward songs like a Rolling Stone. And Dylan's development as a songwriter would in turn have a similar effect on the Beatles, whose own move from "I Want to Hold Your Hand" to "A Day in the Life" can be traced directly to their exposure to the freewheeling Bob Dylan album in the spring of 1964. And that is your entertainment report for Thursday, July 9th, 2015. I'm your host, Mr. Downtown Ray Melo. I'll be back tomorrow to wrap the week up, delivering some major stories and trends going on in the world of entertainment and beyond. You can follow the show on Facebook or on Twitter, facebook.com/The Entertainment Report with Ray Melo. That's RAYMELO, or on Twitter at The Enter Report. You can listen to this episode or any previous episodes of The Entertainment Report anytime you want on iHeartRadio or iHeart apps for free. Just go to iHeart.com, search for The Entertainment Report, and it'll take you to the page. Good night, and God bless you all.